Okay, yeah, that's an interesting insight. All right, so let's move on from just what's happening in the markets directly to some bigger picture stuff. So we have this new emerging phrase called Project Crypto, and it's coming out of the President's Working Group report on digital asset markets, which was finally published. Now, you may recall that when Trump first took power, he issued an executive order asking for this report. It had a 180-day deadline. That deadline, I don't know if they narrowly beat the deadline. Anyway, they published the report, and sure enough, the relevant regulatory agencies are sort of lining up to support what's being called for in this report. So first up, we have the SEC. So SEC Chairman Paul Atkins, he announced on July 31st the launch of Project Crypto. And so this is being billed as sort of a comprehensive initiative designed to modernize securities regulations and position the U.S. as the dominant global hub for cryptocurrency and blockchain innovation. So he outlined a few priorities. One of them is creating a clear framework for determining whether a digital asset is a security. And by the way, Paul Atkins, again, the chairman of the SEC, has asserted that most crypto assets are not securities, but he's noted that the confusion about this has driven innovation offshore. So this is like a narrative that everyone has talked about for years. And the SEC is claiming here to be like trying to rectify that. Secondly, another big push is to modernize custody requirements for crypto assets held by registered intermediaries. And Atkins has criticized previous approaches for limiting the options, and he has emphasized on this note support for self-custody as a, quote, core American value. And another quote here, which is illustrative, I think, of the tone, is he says, "I believe deeply in the right to use a self-custody digital wallet to maintain personal crypto assets and participate in on-chain activities like staking." That seems pretty bullish, or that seems like a great statement to come out of the SEC. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one, David.
The talk on crypto Twitter was overwhelmingly positive. Everyone that I follow who commented on this recognized it as a kind of a big deal and very bullish for the space long term. For me personally, because I mean, you and I like live and breathe this stuff, right? So it wasn't a surprise, this kind of report. It almost feels like things that we've known for a bit of time. But again, it's like, yeah, I guess the people within the organs of power and government are a little slower to kind of catch up with what I would say people in the business sector maybe already know. So, but again, everyone thought it was a big deal. For example, Gemini co-founder Cameron Winklevoss, he stated that, quote, "This is truly an incredible and profound speech by Paul S. Atkins. Project Crypto outlines the plan for crypto to power America's golden age. This starts with moving markets on chain." So Cameron Winklevoss drew historic parallels to pre-New Deal reforms. Again, quoting him, "Reading this is like being transported back to 1933, before the passage of the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, legislation that set up the new century of American capital market dominance." I guess when you frame it into that kind of historical context, you kind of get a feeling for how big of a change this could be over time. I'm sure that people in 1933 and 1934 didn't think that those two acts would be like era defining as they are now. So if this is on the same level as that, then yeah, this is a very big deal.
Potentially historic. And just going back to the priorities of the SEC here in their Project Crypto guidelines, so that there's two more. One is enabling quote unquote super apps, allowing securities intermediaries to offer diverse products, including non-security crypto assets, all under a single license without needing multiple state or federal approvals. So kind of unleashing the potential of super apps to just offer all kinds of financial products, crypto and non-crypto. I think that's what that means. And then the last pillar is updating archaic rules to facilitate on-chain software systems in security markets, including decentralized finance. So basically knocking down any roadblocks that there may be in terms of actually using the blockchain infrastructure to run the future financial system. I think that's how that is to be interpreted.
Yeah, awesome, good stuff. And
Yeah.
like I've talked with founders in the past year. Everyone wants a piece of the American market, but basically only the biggest or like the deepest pockets could really go into the American market because it was all state by state, you know, and so
Yep.
Startups, smaller players really couldn't go into the entirety of America because it was just the legal costs, the overhead was just way too much, and this seems to completely kind of level the playing field in that respect.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it all unfolds, but certainly positive sentiment from the SEC, and the CFTC is also cooperating with this push. So the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, their acting chairman, who is Caroline D. Pham, she said that the agency will begin a crypto sprint designed to implement policy directions outlined in the president's working group on digital assets. That report. And so her quote is, the CFTC is wasting no time in fulfilling President Trump's vision to make America the crypto capital of the world. We will work closely with SEC Chairman Paul Atkins and Commissioner Hester Peirce to achieve Project Crypto. So the CFTC getting on board, and the Treasury as well. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, said on X, the U.S. has entered the golden age of crypto. So start your companies here, launch your protocols here, and hire your workers here. So yeah, all of the major agencies and key people in the administration getting the memo to go all in to make digital assets pivotal, central to the future financial rails of the U.S., it seems.
Yeah, pretty wild. Just like on a personal note, though, this like use of the word golden age, I wonder if there was like a memo to
yeah, it's always like this, right? The talking points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
sure you use the word golden age.
Yeah, I look forward to a compilation of all the talking heads saying golden age of crypto.